Hey Pokemon Masters, Toby here. One of my first series when I started the channel was my top 10 favourite Pokemon of each region. I did Kanto all the way through to Kalos, I did my top 10 favourite Mega Evolutions, and my top least favourite Pokemon. This was one of the core series of my channel, but obviously that was kind of the end of the playlist, and I came to the end of that. All the regions were done. Until now. Because of course now we have a whole new region. We have the Alola region, we have Alolan forms. And I'm not going to be covering the Alolan forms in this video, that might be something separate a little bit later down the line. But at the request of one of my big patrons of the month, Kirsten Masters, I'm going to be doing my top 10 Alola Pokemon. Here it is. And as well as that, I absolutely recommend going back and checking out the entire playlist of my favourite Pokemon of each region, leaving a comment, what are your favourite Pokemon of each region? Leave this as an opportunity to not only see how much I've grown since doing those videos, because wow, they are very different, at the least, to this one. Also, it's a great opportunity for you to just mark down what are your favourite Pokemon and hear about some of mine. Right, let's get on with it. Alola forms excluded, my top 10 favourite new Alola Pokemon. Number 10 on this list is Mars Shadow, and I know what you're going to say. Mars Shadow has only just really been announced. How could this be a favourite Pokemon? You have no experiences with it. And it's on this list now for the same reason that Perfect Zygarde was on the list back when I was doing the Kalos list. Because one, it looks cool, but also because of what it symbolises, a future for Pokemon. There is more to come, there are mysteries unsolved. Just look at its appearance in the latest upcoming movie, it looks like it's going to be awesome. The most important thing about this Pokemon is what it symbolises. There is going to be a future for Pokemon. There is more to be uncovered. And in fact, it is the only Pokemon thus far that I haven't caught, because legally you can't yet. It is a Pokemon that symbolises the ongoing dream of gotta catch 'em all, and that is really the reason I love it. It fills me with excitement. Number 9, Crabrawler. Mostly from a design standpoint. It just looks great. But the thing I love the most about this Pokemon is the way in which you can encounter it. I remember the first time that I encountered a Crabrawler. You go up to the berry patch, you click A on it, and it came out at me. I thought, oh wow, this must be very unique to me. I imagine it's quite rare for this to happen. And I mean, it probably happens to everyone on their adventure, but for me, it felt like very special and magical. I think I did my first run through of Sun and Moon next to my friend PD Winnell, and he hadn't encountered one from my understanding. I was just like, did this happen for you? Because it happened for me. And then it was the big boss for the first Kahuna, and it was just so cool to encounter this Pokemon in this way. And I say Crabrawler and not its evolution, one, because I can't pronounce its evolution's name, but I'm not even going to try. Crabrawler? But also, I just don't like the design of its evolution that much at all. I think it was a wasted opportunity. Crabrawler, on the other hand, is cool. It's got a fun way of encountering it. It kind of reminds me of a mix of how you encounter Sudowoodo, but then also how you encounter Voltorb, clicking on some of the overworld sprites. It's just a fun Pokemon, and that's why I like it. Number 8, Mimikyu. How can you not like Mimikyu? When I first saw this Pokemon announced, I assumed it was a fake mon. I assumed it was a fake leak. I was like, there's no way that's real. And then it turns out it was real. And okay, it's had more than its fair share of the spotlight. People really seem to love this Pokemon, but I think that's with good reason. I don't think it's overhyped by any means. Mostly the reason I love it is because of the lore that surrounds it. I'm a Pokemon theorist, I'm really into lore. And already at this point, I've used Mimikyu in several different theories. It appears in theories about Ash and Red, and I think it explains the Ghost Girl in Phoebe's room. Doll it's holding, it's Mimikyu. But also, other people have come up with a number of different theories. I've heard Clefairy and Porygon and Ditto and Wobbuffet's tail. A Banette, a deceased Pikachu, a Pikachu, I've heard them all. This Pokemon is a Pokemon theorist's dream. Well, nightmare. But still, I love it. And that is why it gets a spot on this list. Number 7, Kartana. No, not Cortana, Kartana. It's actually the only Ultra Beast on this list, and I mean, the Ultra Beasts are unique to the Pokemon world, whether they are even Pokemon or not, you can debate that in the comments as much as you like. To me, they're just parallel world Pokemon, so I'm including it in this list. But whatever you call them, out of those creatures, this Pokemon I think has the coolest design, and it actually makes me like its terrible typing. Grass and Steel, it's 4 times weak to fire. I normally hate Pokemon like that, where it has a very obvious 4 times weakness. But this Pokemon's strong design and kind of cute little face actually makes me okay with the typing. I just think it's really unique and wacky and out there. And also its name is just so unapologetic. It's a Kartana, it's a samurai, Katanas, I don't know, I just think that's great. Number 6, Lunala. I played Pokemon Moon first, that's why Lunala over Solgaleo, but how can you not like this Pokemon as a result of journeying in Sun and Moon? The game demands that you like this Pokemon, and I know you're gonna say, hey, spoilers, the game's been out for half a year. Part of the journey, you travel alongside this Pokemon, you build a relationship and a connection with it in a way that has never before been done in a Pokemon game with the mascot legendaries. When I finally got the chance to add it to my team, it felt like it had always been there. It was a member, it had journeyed alongside me too. How can you not like the mascot? And again, I just played Moon Before Sun. Number 5, Lycanroc Day Form. So as I was doing my first run through of Pokemon Sun and Moon, I did it alongside my friend Phil, PD Winnell. And my favourite thing about playing a Pokemon game when it first comes out is playing it alongside, battling with them at intervals, and trading with them as well. And PD Winnell traded me a Lycanroc to help me out on my adventure. It actually gave me a bit of an advantage because it was quite a high level for where I was at. But it didn't bug me, it didn't bother me, because the symbol of friendship that comes with that. Having a Pokemon at the front of my team that is there because a friend traded it with me, and I think that's the reason I like Lycanroc Day Form. I always thought its design was cool. I always wanted one, and playing Moon, I was like, oh, it's such a hassle having to get one. And so having PD Winnell trade me his, it makes me love that Lycanroc even more. Number 4 though is Golisopod. And I also have a story about Golisopod with PD Winnell, but this is before the game was even out. PD Winnell was down here when the announcement dropped for Wimpod and a whole bunch of other new Pokemon, and we were very excited, but I in particular was excited about Wimpod. I love the design. It was at the time my favorite new Pokemon design. It was so cute and cool, and I was also able to come up with a theory about it very quickly in its relationship to possibly to Kabuto. And I said then the one thing that would aid my theory is if we got to see its evolution, and if it had one evolution, and if that evolution was a badass like Kabutops. And this is what we got. How awesome is this Pokemon? I think not just in design, I think everyone can agree that, but then also its placement in the story as Guzma's main Pokemon. There are very few bug types that I think are particularly awesome, but this generation just came packed with cool bug Pokemon. Sure, I've liked Scyther and Scizor and Heracross and all those Pokemon, but this guy takes the cake. Well, he did, until I realized I loved another bug Pokemon from this generation even more, and that's my number 3, an electric bug type. For some reason, I don't know why, I'm just thinking U-turn or Volt Switch. Is that weird? You don't need both moves on the same Pokemon. Design-wise, it's solid, and color-wise, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Heracross again, a previous favorite bug Pokemon. But the thing I love about this Pokemon is with a lot of Pokemon, you know how they're going to evolve. You just level them up or give them an elemental stone, and certainly with the starting bug Pokemon, I didn't expect there to be any special mechanic. And Grubbin was the first wild Pokemon I caught in Sun and Moon, but as I evolved it up into a Charger Bug, I got excited about evolving into a Vikavolt. I even got to the trial where they had a Totem Vikavolt, and I was so excited, like, when's mine gonna do it? When's mine gonna do it? My Charger Bug got to level 60 before I realized that you had to level it up specifically in the Vast Pony Canyon to evolve it. And if a Pokemon is evolving at that later stage, it's basically a pseudo-legendary. Now, obviously, I could have leveled it up at any time at the Vast Pony Canyon, but because it was in that middle stage for so long, it was like when Ash's Metapod finally evolves into a Butterfree. And you're like, wow, this is so magical, it finally happened. I was excited about getting this Pokemon, and then when I got it, I was not disappointed. Of course, the first Pokemon I caught could never beat the first Pokemon I was given in Alola. Number 2, Rowlet. Hang on a moment, another non-fully evolved Pokemon. Rowlet and not Decidueye? And yeah, I don't know what that's about. There's something about Rowlet's design. It's cute, it's round, it's cuddly, with that moment when you choose your starter and you're holding it up. And it just looks so happy and also equally evil. Heck, Rowlet was even my mascot for a little while, and Decidueye just doesn't bring that to the table for me. I mean, the fact that you can have a flying type starter I think is a big deal for a bird keeper Toby. But sometimes I find, very rarely, there's just this thing where when a Pokemon model is in 3D, where I just don't like it so much. And I think Decidueye's 3D model looks kind of awkward and skinny and in a weird kind of way though. Whereas Rowlet is just this little ball of joy. How can you not love it? And yeah, I was on the Rowlet hype train right from the beginning, so Rowlet is my number 2 on my Alola Pokemon list. My number 1 spot, however, is a tie between 2 Pokemon. And I know you're thinking, doesn't that technically make this a top 11? No, this is my top 10 list. I do it how I want. My number 1 slot is 2 Pokemon that are in joint first place because I can't decide which is better. Stuffle and Beware. And the thing is, I love these Pokemon for totally different reasons. Stuffle is adorable. I didn't think I liked Stuffle. I didn't think I was fond of it. I thought the whole idea of it being a plushy Pokemon, it was kind of dumb. And then I encountered one in the overworld and heard it cry. This Pokemon is adorable! It's so adorable, and then you see the little animation of its arms flailing when it's attacking. I want a Stuffle. I want a Stuffle in my life. I want it to be a real thing that I can cuddle and hold. In fact, I was kind of disappointed when I evolved it. I nearly loaded back to a previous saving to give it an Everstone. I just love it so much. But I braved it and I evolved it, and I grew to love Beware, or the same Pokemon, all over again. Beware has that cuddliness, but it also has deadliness packed in. My Beware is just this tank that dishes out physical hits and takes the hits. It reminds me of my favorite Pokemon, Snorlax, in many kind of ways, probably sharing some normal bear relationship there. Huh, that rhymed. But Beware was an invaluable member of my first team, and so as a result of that, it is tied with Stuffle for being my number 1 favorite Alolan Pokemon. And this is the part where you tell me your favorite Alolan Pokemon, your top 10, in the description below. Did I make any right choices? Did I make any absolutely wrong choices? You know, in your opinion, be nice to each other, and also check out all my other top 10s of all the other regions, Mega Evolutions, and my top 10 worst Pokemon. And just so you know, the worst Pokemon list hasn't actually changed as a result of Alola. I don't dislike any of the Alolan Pokemon that much, so enjoy and soar high, Pokemon Masters. A special thank you to my patrons of the month, especially my big patrons of the month, Joey Powell's, Dewcifer, and Kirsten Masters. Thank you.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a